Sometimes there's a rocky road in your life and you're looking for that person to share your life with. Sometimes it's longer for some than it is for others. I met Tiffany in the fall of 2016. She was looking for some magazines for a project that she did with clients who have dementia and Alzheimer's, and so I met her at Pete's Coffee in Folsom, California.
We first met through the table online at Lakeside, and he offered to donate magazines. He answered a request that I had put out for a magazine donation, and he reached out and said he had magazines to offer me, and so we met and we had coffee, and then I asked if he knew someone to help me with my website, and he offered to help, and that's how we started hanging out and getting to know each other.
And we really hit it off. I loved what she did. I really liked that about her. I felt she had a big heart. So we saw each other off and on for a little bit. And then we met again because she needed some work done for a website. And then one day I got a text while I was at work, and she asked me if I'd like to go for a walk down by the river. And this is where we went. This was our first date.
I love his heart for God. I love how he so authentically, he walks the walk. He doesn't just talk about it. I love that he takes solitude with the Lord and really dedicates himself to devotionals and readings and talking to God. And I love that he not only encourages me to do the same, but supports me in it, and that he points me back in the direction. You know, he knows when I need quiet time. He knows when I need that downtime, that one-on-one time with God, and he gets it.
Our eyes at dusk, you know, when we watch sunsets, they're so like mirrors, like looking in a mirror. Oh, I'm in love with her. I want to kiss those lips. I used to tease her. You know, I was gonna keep adding to the invoice when I was working on our website. Just say it's racking up. And sometimes I'd tell her, gotta be other ways you can make payment on that invoice. She knew exactly what I meant. She'd roll her eyes. And then I'd steal a kiss.
And I remember feeling really good after we would spend time together or, you know, meet for coffee, talk about the website, whatever it is that we were working on. He would make me laugh, and he would make me laugh really, really hard. And I would get home from the time we had spent together, and I wouldn't be wiped out or exhausted like everything else wiped me out and exhausted me. Like, I'd be feeling good. And I just kept thinking, like, should I be dating somebody? I don't know if I should be dating. I'm not well. And a friend of mine said, sick people date. You can date. And then we would spend this time together, and he would just make me laugh, and I always felt good. And even now, like when we go camping, we're like giggling in the tent until who knows what time, just giggling and laughing, and we laugh so hard we make each other cry, often. Like it's a regular occurrence for us. I love that about us. We laugh and we laugh hard. It's awesome.
Tiffany gets to wake up in the mornings and come down along the river and take her walks. What a lot of people don't know about Tiffany is sometimes she says she gets a little what she calls revvy. But whenever she comes to a place like this or we go camping, that's where we find our quiet time. We find our peace with God. Sometimes we'll lay awake at night, look up at the stars through the top of the tent, and just be at peace together. That makes us happy. With this, you can't go wrong.
I was told a long time ago in one of the relationships classes that I took at church to just chase after God with your whole heart. Just run wholeheartedly towards God. And every now and then stop and look around and see who is keeping up. And then just keep running. Just keep running. And then again, stop and kind of look around and take note of who is keeping up and then get to know them better. And so I feel like Lenny and I run after the Lord with the same kind of passion and fervor. And I love that about him. Yeah, the number one thing.
I love that Tiffany speaks so freely about God. I get to worship with her, go to church with her. That's something I've always wanted, is just to be able to speak openly and freely about God to whomever I'm with.
And then I love that he makes me laugh. I love that he's a man of his word. I love that he loves his family. I love that he has a sense of humor. I love that he's lighthearted. I love that he knows how to cook and that he likes to cook. I love that he loves to do dishes. I don't know if he loves to do dishes, but he does the dishes. I love his servant's heart. Everybody loves him. I mean, everybody loves Lenny. That's awesome.
When I think about the rocky times before Tiffany, it just reminds me of how easy everything is with Tiffany. I love that about us. It doesn't seem to be any real effort that needs to be exerted. We feel free to just be honest with each other, and it just comes really easy. When we first came here, we sat on the rocks right here by the water. We made some flat stones and we sat down together and we just talked for nearly an hour, sitting on our butts on these rocks and sitting down on these rocks, and we didn't realize how fast time had been moving. So we were getting a little sore, so we got up and we walked some more, or we sat down and talked some more. That's how we got started. Just a lot of conversation that came easy. It's pretty easy when you're in a place like this to get to know somebody.
I invited him on this walk with me. I said, you know, I'm going on a walk. Do you want to join me? And I just kept it super light and super casual. I felt like I was introducing friends. My friend Lenny to my friend, the trail down by the river.
Do you remember this spot? This is where you taught me how to leave little surprises for people everywhere we go. You introduced me to the idea of fairy doors and charms. And I think the very first charm we hung was right over there in that tree. One of many. Now we make it a practice just to put a smile on other people's faces. That's what you do.
And we sat at this table, and I kind of asked him what he wanted out of life. Like, what were things that were important to him? What did he want? What mattered to him most? And we had a pretty intense conversation for our first conversation, but it was here. And it was, I think this table will always be special, just because I think we both recognize that something more than just making a website and donating magazines was happening.
This was still part of our first date along the river. We finished up here before we walked back to the cars. This is where you and I sat next to each other for the first time on our bench, looking at this beautiful scenery. The sun was setting over in that direction, and we started asking each other hard questions. Like, what are you looking for in dating? Are you dating? Well, we were honest with each other. We said things like, well, I'm not really looking for, one night or a weekend. We're looking for somebody to share our life with, somebody to create a history with. I liked that that was something that we both were interested in right out of the gate. We've come here a few times to talk about the direction our relationship is going to take, or could take. We even put a charm right up there and it's gone. But it was there for a long time. You always said that was the ultimate compliment, when somebody takes the charm that you leave them to discover. It's making somebody happy.
So we met at Coffee Republic. We met at Coffee Republic to work on my website. And it was getting to be a pattern where we would meet and we would sit and we would visit for about an hour before we even started talking on the website, talking about the website. We'd just sit and we'd giggle and it would be like, should we get to work?
Her smile, she's got an incredible smile. I like doing anything that makes her happy, because then she smiles and I get to peel her corners of her mouth back. But Tiffany also makes me just at ease with everything. She's got a different perspective, a different way of seeing things than I do. And a lot of times it's just better.
And so that was maybe the second or third time we connected. We got together for coffee in the website that was like visiting in a little website. And then we decided to walk down by the river. And I wanted to show him the bridge. I don't know if he knew the walking bridge. But we went across and the sun was setting and it was absolutely beautiful. And it was kind of romantic. And all of a sudden, he just like turned to me and he told me how he felt about me. And then he leaned over and kissed me, and I didn't realize. I was like, is he gonna kiss me right now? And he fully leaned in and kissed me, like full on. I was like, oh wow, this is happening. This is happening. And he said, yeah, and you kissed me back. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And it was like this crazy moment because the sun was setting, the sky was like orange and yellow and pink, and it was reflecting off the river. And we just kind of like held hands and walked back afterwards and walked really, really slow. And I think we were both just kind of embracing the fact that like, yeah, okay, that just happened after 4 months of being friends. He just kissed me, all right. And then floodgates opened, and that was March 11th, 2017. That's a good memory.